So you want to learn about how to work with colors in Minecraft. Then this might be the tutorial for you. So we're gonna start with orange. And you can add blocks that are almost the same, just throughout the build. But you don't have to. We can make a shadow or a highlight by using similar blocks that are either gonna go lighter or darker. Of course, we can also do both. And if we make it smaller and a little bit more detailed, this is actually what you're gonna get. You can also copy and paste it and highlight the middle, or you could just make a nice pattern to complete it all. So if we add like a shape here, you can actually see that it moves like away from what you have in the middle, because your highlight is up and your shadow is down. So if we place like here the honey blocks in the middle, you actually highlight the window you have there, which might be something you want in your details. You can also do that with the other pattern I just gave you, but I think this is a little bit too like busy. Next to high and low lights, we also can work with color theory. And what you actually get then is you have a color that's the exact opposite of your own. If you take the color wheel, then blue is actually the opposite. So you can also have a highlight and a shadow. And of course, you can also make that a little bit more fancier. Don't be afraid to also use other blocks than just normal blocks. So as you can see here, this is the same we had before. And I've actually added like here this little bit of like a highlight to just pull in the eye to the middle. So you can either like make here another window, or it will just pull your eyes towards the little window here. And if you would make the really busy pattern, then you can also go with this one, but this one I think is a little bit too much unless you go really far away. Yeah, you can also use the opposite color as like a highlight itself, because it makes it so bright. And that's actually when you get like this pattern. And of course you can add like a middle color in between. That's between the base color and, well, your highlight color. But again, it's like a very busy pattern, and from like far away it will probably look a lot better. And here you see, if you make it a little bit bigger, that it's less busy already. Do I recommend using this? Depends on what you're gonna use it for. Because the more colors you're gonna add, the more busy it's gonna get. These are the split complementary colors, and they're actually next to the one that's opposite of the main color. So basically what they do is like they also have the pop effect, but just less strong. As you can see, I also used the shades here, and these and the blue one actually like pop a little bit because they're like the opposite colors. And that's really good for people who are, for example, colorblind, because although they can't really see the difference between those two, they can see the difference between the orange and the opposite colors. So for them, it's also like more out there. If you do like colors that are more towards the original color, then you will actually have like more softer build. Okay, so these are Triad colors. And they actually do the same, but they make it a lot softer. So basically, instead of dark purple, we have light, more magenta. So people can see the contrast, but it's just less there. Even with this busy pattern, these two are way less busy than these two. Especially this one, because of the, crying obsidian. You can also use those colors for like your highlights and your shadows. You can also put them around the window, of course. Same, of course, with the magenta. And here we have an example of how it actually looks if you do the highlights and the shadows. And this is the other one, also in the Triad color. So basically, it still makes your build pop, but it's just less bright. And I like to keep my colors organized, so I actually have wood between all of them. And then we have what we call tetradic colors. Tetradic actually means like 4 colors that are like equally spread. As you can see here, this is not pretty, this is very busy. Again, like I said, use it in a pattern, and I recommend just using one color that actually stands out, like I did here with the orange. Do I recommend the highlights in here? Probably not, because it just makes it like a little bit too busy. What you can do is make a little bit of a combination, like I did here. This is still busy. The only reason why this is less busy is because you have B's, because this is just one color. So basically it still has one main color. And in this case, it's 2 opposites and 2 opposites. So with this, the main color is cyan, and with this, the main color is orange. But you can also, just to make it a little bit in between and less busy, you can use like this, that you have like one big base color with a highlight. Now, where do you use like these 4 colors for? For like this, balloons. They pop against each other because they're this close. What you do need to keep in mind is that these are like cold colors and these are like more warm colors. So actually you can just also combine the blue and the magenta, but you can also just use them all together. And like I said before, for that you actually need to make a pattern. And this is a really good example of such a pattern. I also placed the light on this side. And it's really busy, but not too much, because you have a pattern in there. And you have a color that's more there than any other color, and that's, in this case, again, the orange. Now, the other tip I can give you guys is just like here, use a neutral color, like a darker color. Black, white, or like dark brown. If you're really struggling with colors, because then you're always sure that everything fits with that. And that's also why a lot of people are like a really big fan of spruce, because spruce basically fits with all these if you look at it. So spruce or dark are really good building materials just to make colors pop, even if you're colorblind. Now, my friend Thaddeus is also colorblind, so I actually also made this for him. I hope he can really work with this. So for those of you who are colorblind and are actually like having the version of the neutron or proton type, which means you can see blue and yellow but not the other colors, I have a few more tips for you. And that's actually this theory. Because highlights and lowlights, you guys can see the difference. You guys can see it's the same, but it's just getting darker or lighter. So certainly use shadows and highlights, and it doesn't have to be, it can also be like this one. And in principle, the same theories go with that. But to make it most safe, you can also just choose for neutral colors, because neutral colors do help with your eyes and what you want. Then there's also another trick. Blue and purple looks the same for you guys. I know that. But if I tell you that blue and purple both have the popping effect that I showed you guys earlier, then you do need to realize what you're using your colors for, because the function is like really different. If you want to build something that you want to have pop, it doesn't really matter if you go for blue or for purple. Of course, the blue will pop more. But if you have a more yellowy orange, then purple will probably even fit better. So don't overthink. You can just use the opposite color. And if it's close, then it's close. It will probably look good. If you need to design a nether portal, and yeah, you do really need to make sure that it's purple, do you know what? The internet is full of friends, especially in the Minecraft community. Never be afraid to ask for help. Of course, you can use this not only for this build, with just the colors, but also for normal builds. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any questions, please join my Discord. I would love to help you guys out. If you used this tutorial and actually learned something, please leave a comment about it, what you learned. give it a like, maybe even a subscribe, and then I will make a few more of these. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.